many times have you looked yourself in the mirror and say, this time will be different because I am sick and tired of living the life I'm living, the career, everything that's going on in your life. And then you say, this is the time. It's going to be this Monday. It's going to be this month, next week. This is the year. Like, this is the diet that I'm going to stick to. Like, my business, this is the business that I'm going to create. This is the relationship that I'm going to be in. No more bad relationships. Like, enough's enough. This vision of you, and every single time you believe yourself, right? Until you don't. And I don't think that the hardest part of failing is failing. I think the hardest part is looking at yourself one day and quietly wondering, why can't I trust myself anymore? Like, why? What the hell is wrong with me? Because after enough broken promises, right, you keep breaking your promise to yourself. You stop believing your own words that come out of your mouth. And then you say, guess what? Guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to wake up early. And then you don't. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out maybe to start with 3 times a week. And then you don't. I'm going to find something, a book that I want to read that resonates with me. And then you don't. I'm leaving that damn relationship, that marriage. And then you stay. I'm going to start the business. And then you wait. And eventually you stop getting excited about your dreams. Does this sound familiar to you? Not because you stop wanting them, but because somewhere along the way, you stop believing yourself. Why? And that's what I want to talk about today, because I don't want you to think that your problems is the problem is motivation, right? I don't think it's a discipline. I definitely don't think you're lazy. I think your biggest obstacle is something almost nobody talks about. You've lost your trust in yourself. And until you rebuild that, there's no goal. There's no planner. There's no vision. There's no changing your life of where you want it to be. And so today we're going to talk about that. The lie that we all been sold is where I know that I've been taught that success starts with setting goals. That success means you had to be very wealthy. Set smart goals. Write them down. Read them every morning. Create a vision board. Manifest them right now. Own it. I always tell my clients, keep it simple. Don't overthink it. And you can believe me or you can believe someone else. You may not resonate with me, and maybe you resonate with me, but maybe you resonate with someone else. It doesn't matter. It starts with you, right? And you say to yourself, I'm not against my goals. I have goals. I know that I help my clients set goals. That's one of the biggest things in my program. But here's what I wish that someone taught me years ago is goals don't change lives. People do. I'm going to say that again. Goals do not change lives. People do. And it starts with you. People do because why? Because every goal asks for one question. What do you want? Right? Like, what do I want? What do you want? But the transformation asks a completely different question. Who do I believe? Who do I want to become? And that changes everything. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want to coach you just for a second, right? Not the version of you everyone else sees, the real you. The one listening right now is you. What's that goal that you've been carrying for years? Not weeks, right? Is years. Every year comes, a new year comes, and you have the same goals. And by the end of the year, you don't achieve those goals. And you have to ask yourself, why am I not constantly achieving my goals? Maybe it's losing weight, starting a business, paying off debt, maybe writing a book. How about maybe reading a book? Leaving a job that you are completely exhausted and not feeling grateful for, and you're burnt out and you're not appreciated. Healing maybe after a heart breakup, finding confidence in yourself, whatever it is, right? You know what it is. I don't. Nobody does but you. And I want you to notice something, because you're probably spent years asking, how do I get there? Nancy, what's the secret sauce? But maybe you've never asked that question. Who keeps stopping me? That's the question. Because the obstacle isn't always outside of you. Sometimes it's the version of you you've unknowingly become. And that is where your identity is running your life. I talk a lot about identity on my podcast and a lot of different episodes on social media. I talk a lot about identity because it starts with that. Stop pointing the fingers at other people. Stop pointing the fingers at your parents, the way you were brought up, or your relationships, or your boss, or your friends, people that hurt you. Stop. Because the past is the past, and those people are not the ones the way you are today. It is up to you. Just give me an example. Think about your thermostat at home. If it's set at 32 degrees, you can open every window, turn on every fan, light a fire. The temperature might change, right? Just for a while. But eventually, the thermostat brings everything back to what? 72 degrees. So your identity works exactly the same way. Your subconscious has a setting, believe it or not. And that subconscious setting is, I'm not disciplined. I'm always broke. I'm not good enough for money. I don't have any money. I'm not confident. I'm always overlooked. People don't love me. I'm the one who quits all the time. Here's what's frustrating. Your subconscious doesn't care whether those beliefs are true. It only cares whether they're familiar. So every decision, every habit, every excuse gets filtered through that identity. Really not living according to your goals. You're living according to your beliefs. Does that make sense? Like what you constantly tell yourself is what you start to believe. So that moment that changes everything is, here's the sentence that changed my life. Maybe it's time to change yours. You don't rise to level up your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. I want you to think about that. Again, that identity is your beliefs. A woman who believes that she's healthy doesn't negotiate with herself every morning. A confident leader doesn't wait until she or he feels fearless. Someone who's financially disciplined doesn't become disciplined after they become wealthy. Their identity came first, and the results followed. They didn't hold on to the outcome. We've been trying to reverse that order every single day. It starts with you. What is it that you believe? And believe that it is true. Whatever you want in your life, tell yourself what it is that you want. Write it down and start believing that you already have it, whatever it is. So, why does motivation fail? Can we stop chasing motivation? Like, seriously, can we stop chasing motivation? Motivation is amazing until one Tuesday, motivation shows up after, a great podcast that you may have listened to, or a webinar you're in, after that inspiring conference that you're in, seminar, whatever it is. Maybe after January 1st of the new year, like I had mentioned earlier, then life happens. You get tired and you get sick and tired, right? You get tired. Your child gets sick. Who gets overwhelmed? The house needs your attention. Someone disappoints you. Stress walks through the front door, right? And then what do you say? Oh, shit. It's all coming down. Forget it. All those goals and dreams and, motivation, feeling, and confidence just went out the door because some challenge came knocking at your door. So if your dreams depend on motivation, they'll disappear every time life gets hard, right? So if your dreams depend on motivation, they'll disappear every time life gets hard. And life is going to get hard. This is not just saying, oh, Nancy, being so positive and nothing goes wrong. No, trust me. I've been through a hell and back in my life, but I live an abundant, beautiful life. I am confident. I am successful. I am loving. I give. I bless people. I forgive. I forgive the people that crushed my heart. Successful people don't have motivation. They've simply learned to keep promises to themselves. That's discipline. It's not punishment. It's self-respect. So here's what I want you to do. Grab your phone, open your notes, note app, whatever it is, piece of paper, and I want you to answer 3 questions. I want you to do it right now. And if you're driving, please be safe. Maybe listen to this again, but act today, not tomorrow. If you're just listening to kill time and, oh my gosh, this sounds so motivational and Nancy's right, and how is she in my head? How does she know what's going on? Well, do something about it. Not tomorrow, right now. So question 1 is, who am I becoming? Not what do I want? Next, who am I becoming? If I were already that person, what decision would I make today? Not next year, today. Question 3. What's one promise, one, not 10, not 2, one promise that I can make today that I know that I can keep? Just one. Because every promise you keep repairs your relationship with yourself. I'm going to go through those questions one more time. Question 1, who am I becoming? Question 2, if I were already that person, what decision would I make today? And question 3, the last question, what's one promise that I can make today that I know that I can keep? Just one, not 2, not 5, not 10. I know you have a lot, but just one. Now let me tell you something that I've learned. I've coached a lot of people, a lot of executives, business owners, leaders, women and men from the outside looked like they had everything together. Do you know that almost every one of them, what they had in common? They weren't lacking intelligence. They weren't lacking opportunity. They weren't lacking potential. They were extremely exhausted. Exhausted from trying to become someone different without ever changing the story they believe about themselves. You cannot outperform the identity that you keep protecting. At some point, you have to let the old version of you go. Let the past go. Bury it. Goodbye. Okay? Do not bring the past into the present because you will never move forward. Okay? That is always the problem that I see. People live in the past. They stay in the past. What does that do? What purpose does that solve? The man or woman who keeps waiting, the person who says yes when they mean no, the person who doubts every decision, the person who needs everyone else's approval, come on. You have to say, thank you. Because you know you got it. But you can't take yourself, and where you're going. So the decision is, here's what I'd love for you to do after this episode. Don't write another goal. Not today. I just want you to listen and finish the sentence. Starting today, I am someone who. Maybe it's I am someone who keeps my word. I am someone who finishes what I started. I am someone who chooses courage over comfort. I am someone who takes action before I feel ready. You don't have to feel ready to take action. You don't have to say, you know what, I'm going to pay off debt. I'm going to start saving money. And then you don't do it. You say, you know what, I'll start when I feel confident in myself, or I'll start when I have all my debt paid off, or I'll start when I have $1,000 saved. Why? Start today. You don't need anything but yourself. You need your identity. That is what you need. You start today. And then I want you to write one sentence. Then spend the next 30 days proving it to yourself, nobody else. Do not write this down and get someone else's advice of what should I do. No, you start with yourself. So in the next 30 days, proving it to yourself becomes confidence isn't something that you think. Confidence is something that you earn. One kept promise at a time is when you will start feeling confident. If no one has told you, I want to tell you this. You are not behind. You are not broken. You're not a bad person. You're a great person. It is not too late. You start today. You don't need another perfect plan. You don't need another, I'll start Monday. You don't need another, you know what, it's January. I'll start January 2027. You need one decision, and keep it simple. One promise, one action. Repeat it until it becomes who you are. Because here's what I know. With everything in me is the life that you've been praying for, the confidence you've been searching for, the success that you've been chasing, it isn't waiting for a better opportunity, guys. It is waiting for a better identity in yourself. So don't leave this episode asking, what goal should I set? I want you to leave this episode with, who am I becoming? Remember going back to those 3 questions I wanted you to write down. And if you're driving, please re-listen to this when you're safe, when you're in a safe place where you can write this down. Because when you become the right person, the goals take care of themselves. Don't focus on the outcome. Don't focus on these goals of how the hell am I going to achieve it. Just write them down and let it happen. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode spoke to you, resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. And I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on social media. That's in my comments in this episode. Follow me. You will learn so much. I give a lot of free advice. Starting today, I am someone who, right? Starting today, I am someone who. Until next time, always remember that the quality of your life is never determined by the goals that you write down. It determines by the promises that you keep to yourself. Go become that person. Your future is waiting for you. The person that you've been wanting to becoming, that you wanted to become. Always remember that you, only you, have full control of the will. You can have and do anything you want. It is up to you. With much, much love and hugs, Nancy.